Hi guys. Today we're going to be talking about my recent reads. It's going to be August through November because I skipped the last one. Oh well, I have a lot to talk about today. If I sound kind of sick, it's because I either am or it's the air quality. I'm not sure. We're having a wildfire. It's not super close to where I live, but it's in my state. It has been affecting air quality where I live, so I don't know. It could be that. But I'm doing a lot of that. A lot of coughing, a lot of clearing my throat. Just feeling kind of congested and disgusting. And yeah, anyways, my air purifier needed a new filter, so I'm waiting on that. So that's real helpful. Let's just start with August. I have my notes here, so that's, if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so I decided I'm just dividing them up by like books and then like graphic books, like graphic novels, manga, whatever. I am over a year behind on comics, so I'm hoping I can like, one, catch up a little bit, and B, like create some content around that, hopefully, once my semester's done and I have a couple weeks off and I have like the holidays and stuff, so I can just stay home and read, catch up on things. That'd be great. If not, oh well. All right, so in August, there's my dog walking down to... Hi, baby. Hi. You want to say hello? Say hello. Say hello. Oh, you don't have to lick it. You licked the microphone. Bet that was weird, huh? Okay. She's decided she has to join me today. Oh, never mind. She doesn't want to work. Whatever. Okay, so anyways, like I was saying, in August, I read a fair amount of books. So these are in no order. It's just what I read and then what I rated them. So I read Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts, gave it 4 stars. I am going to continue this series. It's just not like the most amazing thing I've ever read. So it was good. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not like dying to read the next one immediately. So I will get to it. It's on my KU right now. But I don't know when I'll get to it. Probably next year. I counted a children's book because I read it for school and then decided not to count them anymore. So I read Hot Dog by Doug Salati, I think is how you say his name. I gave it 4 stars. It was really cute. I did an assignment on this. I don't have a whole lot to say other than that. I also read another picture book, and that's The Talk by Alicia D. Williams. I gave that 5 stars. I feel like this book is really important. I feel like what this book talks about is really important and sad that it has to exist. Honestly, it makes me a little mad that it has to exist, but I love that this book exists for people, so... then I also read Free Water by Amina Luckman Dawson. Yeah, Free Water by Amina Luckman Dawson. And I gave it 4 stars. This is a newer release. It's I guess it would be middle grade book, and talks about slavery, and they escape, and it takes place, well, I guess the place it's based off of is the Great Dismal Swamp, from what I understand. But they essentially they escape and they go to live in this society that the escaped slaves have built in this swamp. So it's like a tree society where they live up in the trees, and it's really cool. Honestly, the world that this author constructed, where they like live in these trees and stuff, it reminds me of Avatar. It's really neat. I did like this book quite a lot, and yeah, I'd recommend anybody read this. There are some very hard to read scenes in this, but I liked the most of the characters. There's the one main female character is a little bit insufferable in my opinion, but she's young, so she's just like kind of that energetic, loud, bold child. And while I can relate, because I probably was that kid, I found her kind of annoying sometimes. So She's definitely one of those characters that, like, you're like, no, don't do the thing, and she does the thing anyways, and you're like, oh my god, you never learn your fucking lessons. Moving on, I read Fourth Wing in August. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it enough. I have since read Iron Flame. We're in November now, so yeah, read Fourth Wing in August. I started it while we were on vacation, and I don't think I actually finished it till we got back. So yeah, it was good. I think the second book was better. That's just my opinion. And last but not least, out of the books that I've read in August, I read Electric Idol by Katie Robert. I gave it 5 stars. I am really excited to read the next one in this series. Like, I have all of them. I keep passing it on my shelf and going like, oh, I really want to read that. So I'll probably pick it up before the end of the year. Just being honest with you. And I only read 1 manga volume in August, and that was The Ancient Magus Bride. This is volume 5. I gave it 4 stars. Moving on into September, I read A Dance with the Fae Prince by Elise Kova. I gave it 5 stars. I did like this one. I am a sucker for fae. Sorry, it's hard to tell if somebody's pulling in my driveway or if it's just like the rain reflecting sometimes. I don't have a whole lot to say. It's Elise Kova. I'm kind of a stan for Elise Kova, and I will read the next one eventually, but probably not till next year if I'm being completely honest with you. I also read Twisted Games by Anna Huang. Gave it 5 stars. Very good series. One of the best series I read this year. Holy shit. If you like spicy romance, this one is for you. If you haven't read it yet. And then in September, I did finally finished Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. I was listening to the dynamic audio of this, and I gave it 4 stars, just to preface this. I was listening to dynamic audio of this. I started this in probably like May, and I was only kind of listening to it when I was doing my drive at work. If you've seen my recent vlog, then you see what I do. I like load books into bins and then take books to other branches and drive. And I do that, once every 2 weeks to twice every 2 weeks, basically. Sometimes I end up like with like 4 in a row. I don't mind it. It's one of the more interesting parts of my job, I'd say. It gets me out of the branch. I don't have to talk to people all fucking day. I get to see the cat at one of the other branches. So yeah, but I finished Theft of Swords. I digress. Finished Theft of Swords. It was good. I will read the next one. I think I have the dynamic audio for the next one, so I need to start that soon. Because if I could have dynamic audio for every series that's long that I want to read, I would want it, because this one at least is really good. It's really good. They have like a full voice cast, sound effects. It's like you're listening to a movie, essentially. And then in September, I did read quite a few manga. So I read A Galaxy Next Door, number 5. Gave it 4 stars. I will not be bothering with the last one. I think there's like one more coming out. I'm not going to bother. I kind of see how it's ending. It was okay. As a series, I would probably give it like a 3.5. It's really cute. I like about some of the stuff it kind of covers lightly, like consent and stuff like that. I like the relationship. I think it's like a really good representation of like a healthy relationship. But honestly, at the end, I think it's just kind of fizzling out, and it is what it is. I read, I don't know what volume of Imakoi that is. I think this is supposed to be Imakoi number 2. I didn't write the volume, but I've read 1 and 2. So I think this is supposed to be number 2. And I gave it 4 stars. I still continue to really like this series. So yeah. I read Solo Leveling number 5, gave it 4 stars. I'll have more to say about Solo Leveling in October. We'll get there. I read Witch Hat Atelier 1 and 2, gave them both 5 stars. I'm really excited to continue reading this one. However, I am not buying it and collecting it because my library has it. So I'm just going to get to it like I am Ancient Magus Bride, kind of slowly, on the back burner type of thing, like when I have time. I also read Blue Period 3 and 4. I own these. This is another one that I'm going to get from the library from now on. I'm not keeping them. I do like this one. I will say this is a little bit heavier on like the reading. Like for manga, it's very word heavy. But it's about art students. If you didn't know already, I have talked about this a little bit. But I gave volumes 3 and 4 4 stars. I do like this one. It's just like I can only read like one volume a month because it's so dense. And then I also read Noragami number 26, and I gave it 5 stars, obviously. We're getting one more, and then it's the last one. It's the last one, 27. So, and I think that comes, I think it's coming at the beginning of the year at this point. I don't think we're getting it in 2023. And I think the ending, after reading 26, my impression is that the ending is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be like some epic thing, but I think it's going to tie up nicely. I don't feel like I'm going to be severely disappointed by the way it ends. And while I wish the series would just continue, I totally understand. The writer and artist has some health things, and it sounds like it's just better for them, honestly, if they end it, and they can end it now while they're like still capable of like making the decision about how it ends and not leaving it up to somebody else. So, fair enough. I think the ending of this is going to be good. I think I'll be satisfied. And I am sad to see it go, honestly. But it is what it is. Still one of my favorite series. All right. So, moving into October. I only read, looks like 4 books in October. So, yeah, pretty standard month for me. I did start the month out with In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros. I gave it 4 stars. Look, don't come for me. I know that people either loved this book or fucking hated it. And I know the controversy around Rebecca Yarros right now, okay? I read a lot of her shit in this wrap-up. 3 books of hers in this wrap-up, okay? I know. I did like this book, though. So I'm not going to lie to you. The main thing I disliked is the same thing that everybody else disliked. It just wasn't enough, personally, to make it less than 4 stars for me. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just my opinion. That's all we're here for. I think the criticisms of her and her writing and her books and her military and religious background is totally valid. But I will continue to read her books. So, I also read Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. Gave it 4 stars. I know. Surprised, are we? So this book, the funny thing is, the first one, I don't know if I rated it the same or if it was a 3-star. I'll be honest with you. I hated Natalie in the first book. Absolutely fucking hated her character. And when I found out that the second book was based around her, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but she is paired with the most wonderful man. And you come to hate her less. She is definitely a, if you like Nesta in ACOTAR, she is a Nesta. Okay? You will hate her at first a lot. And then if you liked A Court of Silver Flames, if you liked A Court of Silver Flames and you were like, man, I don't hate Nesta so much now. Read Unfortunately Yours, because you'll like Natalie. That's all I'm going to say. I think better than the first one. Haley in the first one is so fucking annoying, I have to say. It's just so fucking annoying. But it's like a grumpy sunshine trope, which this one kind of isn't. So, I don't know. Sometimes the sunshine is annoying to me. Then I also read Guild by Raven Kennedy, and I gave it 2 stars. I'm so sorry. I have owned this book for quite a while, the first one. If I were to continue them, my library does have them, fortunately, so I would not have to purchase them. But I'm not going to be continuing this one. It wasn't for me. I read this very quickly because it's rather short. The world was interesting to me. I just don't like the main character. I'm sorry. I don't like her like at all. So yeah, I'm not here to bash anybody who likes this one. I can see how the premise is very interesting. And I can see how people would like it. And I heard she gets better as the series goes on, but I am not willing to do that. As we know, I tried Zodiac Academy and everybody kept saying it gets better. I don't care. If it's that bad that it's a 2 or a 1 star in the first book, I don't care if it gets better. I'm not going to continue reading the series because I didn't like the first book. That just is what it is. I'm not willing to waste my time again and be disappointed again, if that makes sense. So, last but not least, in October, I read The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams, finally. I gave it 4 stars. It did take me quite a bit of time to get through this one, and I know a couple people who have read this and either DNF'd it or, like, decided it just, like, wasn't for them anymore. Fair. I'd say fair play. Because this one took me a while to get through. But I did like it, and I do want to finish the series. I'm just really intrigued by where the hell this is going. But I definitely, this was the weaker of the 2 books, the first and the second. This is the weaker one. It definitely has middle book syndrome. It's okay. It was 4 stars for me. Probably even like a 3.5. Fair enough, right? Okay, now the manga that I read in October. I did finally start Kaiju number 8. I rated this 5 stars, and I'm going to try to get to a couple more before the end of the year. So, I read Call the Name of the Night, Volume 1. I picked this one up on a whim at the library, and I rated it 4 stars. It kind of reminds me of The Girl from the Other Side, but like, which had a Tellier. I guess, like the 2 mashed together. And it's interesting to me so far, so I want to keep reading this one. I also read Villains Are Destined to Die, number 4, and I rated it 5 stars, and today I'm actually supposed to get the next one, so yay! I pre-order them because I can't wait for the library to have them, because I'm obsessed with this series. I also read The Apothecary Diaries, number 9, and I gave it 5 stars, obviously. I am very excited to watch the adaptation. I have to see if it's out yet. If it is, that's what I'm going to be doing while I have 4 days off. Then I also read Solo Leveling 6 and 7, and I told you we'd get back to this. So I rated them both 3 stars. At this point, I am not going to continue reading Solo Leveling. And I know that's kind of the premise, but it's so repetitive, and it's honestly fucking boring at this point, and I skim read. Like 6 and 7, I skim read them, because I was like, well, I have them from the library, I should just read them. So, but I was not into it, so I'm just gonna stop. From what my husband has finished the series, because he reads it online, and I asked him, like, is it worth it? Is it worth? And he's like, let me see where you're at. And he's like, you have a long way to go still. And no, it's not worth it. So, if you're feeling the same way about Solo Leveling, it might just be time to quit, because the printed volumes are very behind. And we have a ways to go still. And it's apparently not, I told him just to straight up spoil me, but I'm not going to spoil you, so. Lastly, November. We're still in November. It's the 21st today? Yeah. 21st. You're going to see a lot of this sweater. Not that you'll be able to tell because you can't see the graphic on it, but I'm pre-filming a whole bunch of shit today because I have a couple days off because of the holiday. So we're not quite done with November. So I am going to include books that I'm currently reading. Assuming I will get them done in the next 10 days. I'm like 25% of the way into one, and then like 50% the way through the other one. So I definitely will finish them in the next 10 days. I just don't know if I'll start anything else in the next 10 days. So books. I read Iron Flame. I started it, dropped everything. Dropped everything I was reading when it came out, and I got it on pre-order day. It was very fortunate on my part. It did not have any issues other than the chapter 17 misprint. My pages were not upside down. My spine did not say fourth wing on it. My sprayed edges are not the most disgusting thing in the world. They were fine, and everything was fine, and I read it. It took me about a week to get through, which is pretty standard even for a book that I'm enjoying, because I'm a slow fucking reader. Whatever. I read Iron Flame, Jesus Christ, by Rebecca Yarros, and I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I did not cry at the ending, if you need to know. I'm not really even mad at the ending. Honestly, a lot of people are like, I'm mad. And I'm like, I'm not. I am intrigued. I really hope that we break away from the pattern. I'm trying to say this without spoiling things. But I guess, like, if you don't want to hear anything about Iron Flame, just, like, skip this. I really hope in the 3rd book we break away from the pattern of, like, Violet spends the entire time resisting the fact that she loves Xaden. If that makes sense. Because it was like that in the 1st book, and then we got something happened at the end of the 1st book that made her doubt herself and doubt him. And then the whole 2nd book was the same bullshit. And now something happened at the end of the 2nd book. And I'm like, please stop. I want these 2 people to just get along. Can they just work it out? Like, instead of like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. It's stupid. It's so juvenile. That's my only complaint with this series, is that they're like, poor Xaden. I like Xaden because he's like, okay, you have to fucking talk to me. She's like, but I want to. So, Violet, not my favorite person. Especially in the 2nd book. I'm like, girl, just grow up. You're supposed to be in your 20s. Can you get out of my books, ma'am? So she annoyed me a little bit in the 2nd book. I'm like, come on. And then the whole, like, I'm going to agonize over the fact that I'm lying to my friends, blah, blah, blah. I was like, can you just get it over with and tell your fucking friends? Because that's clearly what you want to do, and you should just do what the fuck you want. Since it's worked out so well for you. So, those are my thoughts and feelings. I am very intrigued about where this is going. Yeah. There will be certain things going forward that if they happen, I will be upset. I'm not going to say anything about that because it has to do with the ending of the 2nd book. But, yeah. The dragons tend to be my favorite characters. And Andarna, oh my god. I am living for the fucking memes for Iron Flame because I can't. She's great. She's even better. Like, as a kid, she was great. A little baby dragon, she was great. Now she's like a teenage dragon, and it's even better. And I like Tarn a lot as well. So, man, the banter, like, I annotated quotes, and most of the quotes are from the dragons. So, I had a great time with this one. So moving on, I also read, finally, I finished Critical Role, The Mighty Nine. That's the Nine Eyes of Lucian book, by Madeline Rue. I gave it 3 stars. Look, it took me, first of all, forever to finish this. And I was bored. This is one of those ones where I didn't DNF it, but I was fucking bored and I did not enjoy it as much as I could have. So I still really I like Lucian. I like Mollymauk a lot. But this was not it. This was slow. And I liked Cree. Cree was my favorite. So, if you have to know. Okay. I want to mention the graphic novel series that I read in November so far before I get to the next ones, because it's one DNF and the 2 that I'm currently reading. So I read Heartstopper. I read the first 4 volumes. Gave it 4 stars, all of them. This is great. Very quick reads. I will be continuing this because it's really cute. I did really love this, and the characters are really cute, and I will be continuing this. That's all I have to say. Going into the DNF, I tried last week, to read Wolf Song by TJ Klune because people really love this book. It is gay werewolves. That's all I have to tell you. I DNF'd it at 20%. I can't stand Joe. That's the reason. And I don't really like the age gap thing either. It's kind of weird. Like, it gives me just, it's like, on top of being kind of creepy, it's awkward. It's weird. He's 16 and Joe is like 10. And Joe is annoying. So that's all I have to say. And I know, like, oh, he's going to grow up into a man. Like, I don't care. I don't care. The first 25% of the book, at least, is Joe as a child, and Joe is annoying. And his family has no fucking personality and creeps me out. That's how I feel about it. Last but not least, the two books that I'm currently reading, Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Look, I don't know. I'm like 25% of the way into this, and I was laying in bed last night debating DNFing this one. The others I have like had a love-hate relationship with, which is why I waited so long to pick this one up, because I was like, I like the characters once they like get together and they start having like, you know, challenges in their relationship or outside of their relationship. But this one so far, I also have liked, let me just say this, I gotta interrupt myself. I have liked the other two female main characters, and this one I can't. It's not that I dislike her character necessarily, it's the unnecessary and annoying use of large scientific vocabulary in this book. That really is fucking annoying me. I get it, it's a STEM romance, but dude, you have to stop. So, you know, now we're not going to talk about how big his shoulders are and how tall he is and how big and broad he is. We're just going to use a lot of physics-related terminology that nobody fucking understands. So, yeah. And a lot of time it's like in the character's inner monologue. So if you haven't read this one, be prepared for that. I don't know. I'm going to keep reading and see how I feel. But if I get like 40% and I'm like, fuck this shit, I will DNF this book. Kind of feeling a little mid about it. And the other book I'm in the middle of, and I'm like 50% of the way through, I am annotating this one, is Godkiller by Hannah Canner. This is rather short, and I would have finished it by now if Iron Flame didn't come out when it did. So I think I'll probably finish this one. I don't know. I'm going to try to tandem read it while I'm reading the Ali Hazelwood book, because I'm more like into the Ali Hazelwood book right now, but like I just hit a good spot in Godkiller, and now I feel like I've spoiled myself for it because I'm not like as immersed as I could be. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and I'm like, I don't want to ruin this for myself, you know? Anyways, y'all, that is everything I read between now, November 2023, and August 2023. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me in this video. I know it was a little long. I know I went on a bit of a tangent in the middle of it, but thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to. I will see y'all in the next one. As always, have a good day. Bye.